Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kilby Life, bringing you another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Carnivore Diet Raises Your LDL Cholesterol by Dr. Shawn Baker. I'm doing a few reaction videos today, so make sure and watch all three of them. Alright, let's get into this, see what he has to say.
Some folks, when they start a carnivore diet, notice that their lab values start to change. A lot of times, some people notice that their LDL cholesterol will change. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it doesn't do much. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Shawn Baker. So let's take a little look at those types of things. Now, commonly, what we see is blood glucose and insulin levels typically improve. That is to say, glycemic variability sort of normalizes and typically lowers. Insulin levels often fall. There tends to be less inflammation, which always feels good. HDL levels will often rise, which is also often considered a good thing. Triglycerides also will go down, which is also quite good. And many people will often lose a lot of weight, which is also great. All these things improve, yet sometimes, and I will say sometimes, it doesn't always happen, sometimes LDL cholesterol will go up. What is that about? Now, the first question is high LDL or total cholesterol in that particular scenario actually a bad thing? Now remember, in the context of having low triglycerides, low inflammation, well-controlled insulin levels, and high HDLs, there can be an argument made that perhaps it is not as big of a problem as others would tell you. And there's studies out there that are being done right now that will further shed light on this. But we do know that, in fact, that high LDL in many cases has been shown to actually reduce all-cause mortality, and that very low LDL cholesterol is associated with higher all-cause mortalities. And there's several studies that have found this outcome.
Yeah, this always blows me away. Like, obviously I don't have all the information on these studies, but you know, there's studies out there saying that you're more likely to pass away with low LDL than with higher LDL. And what about quality of life? What about all the other health markers? The focus is on LDL because they have the pill to lower it. He might say that.
They have demonstrated that lower total cholesterol is in fact problematic. A lot of people who are critical of this will say it's all reverse causality, and yet there are studies where they'll show this for many, many, many years ahead of this. So you can't necessarily attribute that to reverse causality. At least I don't believe you can. This is thought to be because the total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol will help your immune system to fight off things like cancer, infection, and other things. Remember, these things have a role in our body. We have it for a reason. This leads to the conclusion that LDL was associated with reduced all-cause and infectious but not cardiovascular mortality, which resulted in an inverse association with all-cause mortality. So, of all the things you can die of, right, there's many things. It's not just all about heart disease. And a lot of people, forget about that, and again, at the end of the day, we're all of us are going to pass of something. Okay, we also released a video recently about a study that came out just this month showing that so-called dyslipidemia, or high cholesterol and LDL, were associated with not dying from any cause. And I'll share a link to that video here in just a minute. So what does this mean? It means that if you feel great on your carnivore or ketogenic diet, your blood sugar is better controlled, you're less inflamed, your HDL went up, your triglycerides went down, but your LDL or total cholesterol are high, potentially. You might not need to worry about as much as you've been told. There are certainly some things you can do to confirm that that's not as much of a risk. Imaging, I'm a big fan of imaging, coronary artery calcium scan, coronary angiography, vascular studies of the neck, ultrasounds. Those all things can be done to further monitor this. Now, if someone's bugging you about carnivore diet and cholesterol, send them this video. Okay, here's the link to my video about the most recent study, the dyslipidemia paradox, up here. Let me know in the comments if your lab values look like what we're talking about here. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.
He's using his speech very specifically and, using words like potentially, because one of the arguments for like a carnivore diet is there's not a lot of, long-term studies of the effects on the health. And that may or may not be true. I lean towards true for the most part, but it's hard to do those types of studies, but there's not long-term studies on the effects of these pills that they want you to take also. So you got to keep that in mind. And I was thinking about that, like all the different things that can be healed. Okay, LDL cholesterol could go up, which mine did. Mine went up all the way up to 438. It was pretty high. Last time was 399. But my HDL went up, my triglycerides went way down, my VLDL went way down. And so I had all these other markers for health. My sleep apnea went away. My A1C dropped from 6.6 to a 5.7 within 90 days. And I lost 50 pounds. And potentially I might have some adverse problems from high LDL, potentially. But we're not sure. But at this point, I have wrestled with it, and I feel like all the studying I have done is leaned towards eating this way is way better than I was eating before. Way better. So I'm not going to worry about it. Make sure to check out this next video that I'm reacting to right here.